Hello, historians. So let's look through a typical reading list and try to navigate the library together. I'm your host and your professor, Dr. Summer Sherland. All right. So this is a typical reading list that you might get. This would be our reading list called Colonial New Spain. Every reading list will have the same description at the top. This one reads, reading lists are organized to include each week's topics, assigned readings, and multimedia materials and hints and resources. In some cases, the weekly challenge will also be included. Each reading list will include time estimates for assigned materials. There's almost always going to be an image that's relevant to that week's topic. And I try to give you both the citation and the link so you can check it out yourself. So this week's topic. This week, we will look specifically at the history of colonial New Spain, paying very close attention to the racial organization of new societies that emerged in modern-day Mexico. Here's how. You might have an additional piece on your reading list that says watch my lecture, or you might not. But this one in particular just starts with read. So these are the 3 articles I want you to read. This one is called Art, Human Races, La Castas. And it's an external source, you can tell, because like all this extra material that's down here on the second citation isn't there. So it's just the title, the book, or like the publication. So this is like the article or chapter, the one in quotes, the publication or the source, and the year, and then the direct link. So this one we can just click right away and it takes us to that external link. And that's where I got the image that I referenced in the previous piece of the reading list, and I want you to read through this. Okay, so that one's easy enough. This one's going to be tougher. This is the author, Burkholder Mark. The title is Viceroyalty of New Spain. It's from this source, Latin American History and Culture, Encyclopedia of Colonial Latin America, 1550s to 1820s. It's edited by, these are so like Mark Burkholder was the author of this particular chapter, but the editors of the whole book are Mark Burkholder and Thomas M. Leonard. And this is additional content of the book title itself. Facts on file, first edition, the date 2017. And this right here is the database where you can find it. That's going to become significant in the moment. Now, there is a link directly to this source, but you'll notice in this link, there is this word login ? So that means this link may be unique to those of us who are on campus or who are already logged into the materials via the library. And even then, in some cases, it doesn't work. So if you try to just click on this link and you think it's just going to go right away and it doesn't work, I don't want you to panic and I don't want you to give up. This is just if it works. And that's because the citation standards we use include the link. We have to include the link as part of our citation, but just because the link doesn't work doesn't mean you can't access the materials. So let's try. Okay, I'm going to click on it. It's not looking good. No, nothing. And I'm the one who generated that link yesterday. Okay, so don't panic. Don't wonder why the link's there. The link is there because it has to be in terms of our citation style, and because if I were on campus, maybe it would work for me. I don't know. But let's figure out how to find it. Okay, so we know that the author's name is this, and we know this is the title of the article. And we also know right here where it says Credo reference is the database. Okay, so let's go to the library. I'm gonna go back to the front page of the library, and I'm gonna click on list of academic databases. What was the name of that database again? Oops, wrong reading list. Credo reference. So go to C. Credo reference. And this was the title, Viceroyalty of New Spain. Let's copy that. Here's the Credo reference database, and let's paste Viceroyalty of New Spain and search. I just hit enter, but you can click that little Viceroyalty of New Spain. Okay. And that's in World History, a Comprehensive Reference Set. Nope, I'm looking for Latin American history and culture. Oh, here we go. Latin American history and culture. So that must be my source. Let's click on it. Viceroyalty of New Spain from Latin American history and culture from 1550s to 1820s. And let's see, how do I find out if Mark Burkholder wrote this? I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom. And right here, see right there where it says Burkholder Mark, comma A, Viceroyalty of New Spain. Burkholder Mark A, Viceroyalty of New Spain. We found our source, didn't we? Now, this is what I meant when I said that the link is already kind of embedded. That's part of the citation style. I just copy and paste these citations directly into Canvas. So that's just the citation standard that we follow. So you know that you found the correct article. And let's go back. Where does it say? It says that you should only spend about 15 minutes reading this. This is a pretty long article. So maybe it'll take you a little longer than 15 minutes, or maybe you know that that's a signal to you to maybe kind of scan, read through the article. Don't just go verbatim word for word. I want to show you something really cool. The first is you can save this source. You can cite this source. You can print it if you prefer to print it and read it, physically. You can share the link with yourself once you find it. It's usually easier to share a link with yourself than it is to share it via Canvas. But look at this. If you're riding the bus or if you're working and you want to listen to your assignments instead of watch your assignment or read your assignments, you can click read aloud. Why won't it play? Let's start.
By 1560, New Spain, the first of 4 Spanish viceroyalties in the Americas, had completed 15 years under its able first viceroy, Antonio de Mendoza, and a decade under his successor, Luis de Velasco.
Very cool, right? The other thing you can do is if you prefer to read in Spanish, you can click translate and you can scroll all the way down to Spanish or any other language that you're more comfortable reading in, and it will translate for you. So you can read the article in Espanol, although it doesn't look like it translated this one for us. Let's try again. Where are you in Spanish? Why can't I find Spanish? Let's try refreshing, see if that works. Let's click English again and then go back. English. Okay. And then let's try Spanish again. And if it doesn't work, maybe they don't all work, but you're supposed to be able to translate many of these sources so that you can read them in your more comfortable language. So if this one doesn't work, try another one. Okay, so that's one of your articles. Let's see what else we need to find. Here's another one. Del Castillo, Adelaida, La Malinche, in Encyclopedia of Race and Racism, edited by Patrick L. Mason Gale, 2nd edition. Again, it's in Credo reference. So I'm not going to close down Credo reference yet, but I am going to try clicking on this link just to be sure. Let's try the link again. It probably won't work, but we'll try. It's not looking good, but that's okay because it's in Credo reference, as was this one. So I can just go back to Credo reference and let's try searching the whole thing. Del Castillo, Adelaida, La Malinche. I'm just going to put it in here and I'm going to hit search. It may work, it may not. All right, let's go back. What does it say? From the Encyclopedia of Race and Racism. There you go. That's the first hit. Let's click on it. La Malinche, fascinating character in Mexican American history. Here's my article. Let's scroll to the very bottom. Here's that citation copied verbatim. La Malinche, Encyclopedia of Race and Racism, edited by Patrick Mason. Okay, we've got the right source. So in Sure, it took a little bit of clicking, right? It took a little bit of navigation, but it probably took a total of 5 minutes for us to pull up all 3 of these articles that we needed. This one was an external source, this one was a library source, and this one was a library source. I got one more that I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to refer back to understanding our texts. Then you're going to explore the Denver Art Museum's 2022 exhibit of La Malinche. And then I'm going to ask you to watch this film, Conquest and Colony. This is the title. It's in quotes. This is the database, Films on Demand. This is the link. Of course, it probably won't work. And I've given you like a little hint in brackets that it's a library source. I try to do that with most of these sources, but you figure it out by about week 3. And then again, 45 minutes long. So let's click on this. It probably won't work, but let's try. Okay, link didn't work again. And again, I found this link yesterday, pasted it in Canvas, and so it's the same computer, it's the same user. It's just firewalls because of additional security protections for your computer. So that won't work. I'm going to go back here. This is the source I'm looking for, Conquest and Colony. Okay, there's 2 ways you can do this, and you can do this for any source you're looking for. You can go back to that AZ databases. Remember, this is the library landing page. And I clicked on databases. Where did they go? Where's my list of, oh, right here, academic databases. And you can click on the letter that is the letter that the database starts with. Okay, so if the database is Films on Demand, I could go to F. Films on Demand. Always go with the master academic collection because it's the most broad. Let's click on that. Okay, it's going to take me to the Films on Demand landing page. And what's the title again? Conquest and Colony. Let's click on that. Conquest and Colony. Conquest and Colony. Okay. So what this has done is it has broken down a bunch of what are called segments in a title of Conquest and Colony. So this might be a little confusing for you, but if you scroll down here where you see this bolded one, Conquest and Colony, that's what you want. So don't just click on the very first thing because these titles don't align, right? Defense of Indigenous Peoples Against Conquistadors is not the same thing as Conquest and Colony. So you can either click on the title here, but what I would do is scroll until you find the right one, Conquest and Colony full video. You click on that, you know that you clicked on the right one because I've told you how long it is, 45 minutes. If you click on one that's 2 minutes long, you know that you've got the wrong thing. And then again, you can check, right? You can check to make sure it's the right thing by checking the citation. So here's the citation, Conquest and Colony, Films on Demand, Conquest and Colony, Films on Demand. Looks right, doesn't it? So that's how you know you're in the right thing. I clicked on this little thing, Cite. And again, you can see that link is directly embedded. Okay, I'm going to show you one other way to find this. It might not give you the search results as clean, but it's one way that I use library all the time. Okay, this is my source, Conquest and Colony, Films on Demand. I'm going to copy the whole thing and I'm going to put it directly into OneSearch. See this tab right here that says OneSearch keyword? It's like a Google for the library. I'm going to just search it, the whole thing. It may come up with nothing because it's a lot of information. See, that didn't work. So what if I narrow my search a little? What if I do just Conquest and Colony? Here we go, Conquest and Colony. I'm going to click on it. 2008 looks good, 2008. Okay, let's check, 45 minutes, so we know we're right. Citation, Conquest and Colony, Films on Demand, 2008. Yes, we found it. Okay, 2 different ways that you can find the source through the same resource in the library. So how do I know exactly what these things are. How do I know that this is the title, that this is the database, that this is the date? How do I know that where am I getting this information? Well, I cite everything in MLA as your professor, and I encourage you to do the same. But I'll give you kind of a breakdown of how those citations look. And you can always click on understanding our texts to come back here to see this reminder. But essentially, this is what every citation looks like when you are in my class. Let's annotate. All right, this is what a citation will look like in any time that you have something to look up. The first thing, everything in quotes, is the title. Now, this source that I've featured here doesn't have an author. If there was an author, the author would be put at the far left. So it'd say, Burkholder, Mark, and then the title. But the title's in quotes. The library database tends to be like right here. Like, it's hard because sometimes there's a title, like it's a chapter within a book, and the title will be italicized, but the library database is right here. The direct link, remember that library links may not immediately work for you. The source location, if it's at the library, and how long it should take. Okay, that's how I know when I sent you to this earlier and I said title, database, date, library, how long it should take, link. That's how I knew. Okay. All right. Continue to try, continue to plug with the library. The more you work with it, the more comfortable you'll become and the better you'll be at this. All right. I look forward to seeing what you have to say this week.